Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Stephanie. I make videos over luxury handbags, fashion, and everyday life. If that is something that you'd like to see, then please keep watching. As you can tell by the title, I have a little bit of an update. I am going back to nurse practitioner school. And if you are a nurse, if you are a nursing student, if you are a current nurse, or if you are someone who is just interested in the nursing field, I'm going to explain why I'm going back to nurse practitioner school, why I dropped out, and kind of where I see myself in the future of the nursing field. I have been a nurse for almost 8 years, and I love nursing, I really do. And one of the reasons I went into nursing is because I wanted to help people. I think most nurses, anybody in healthcare, when they go into healthcare, they go into it because they want to help people. And I think that changes for a lot of us whenever we get out of nursing school, get out of med school, get out of any kind of schooling and enter the workforce. Like anything, healthcare is a field, an industry, and money is going to be made. And that is shocking, but I'm not going to go ahead and get into all of that. That's a whole nother video that we can make. So I was a little disheartened when I first became a nurse because of how healthcare is ran, and every patient is essentially a dollar sign, right? It doesn't take away from the care that you give to patients and the experience that they have with you. I knew when I was in nursing school that I wanted to go to nurse practitioner school eventually. I just didn't know when. I definitely didn't want to be one of those nurses that, not that there's anything wrong with that, but did like a year or two on the floor and then went into nursing school, especially one that's an online diploma mill. Again, another video for another time. It's a lot to get into, but I definitely wanted to get some good experience under my belt and have a strong nursing foundation before I went back to school. About a year, almost 2 years, 3 years ago, I enrolled in a nurse practitioner program, and I did not feel like my heart was in it. I was like, I feel like I'm just doing this because this is something that I told myself I would do. I'm supposed to do this. I have to be, I have to get my master's. It was something that I had to do. I was very conflicted. I didn't know if I wanted to be a nurse practitioner. I thought about maybe being like a nurse educator. I thought about maybe doing like going into like nursing leadership or just getting my master's in nursing. There's so many things that you could do. And I even considered getting like a master's in something completely different other than nursing. But I enrolled in a nurse practitioner program. I did about 4 classes and then I dropped out of the program. Just some things going on with my family life. My kids were little, they weren't in school. My husband was traveling a lot for work, and I just did not feel like my heart was in it, among other things. Fast forward to now, my children are in school, things are more stable at home with my husband's job, he's not traveling as much, and I feel kind of like I am at a standstill. Like, where do I go from here? I love my current job, I still work from home, I love that, it's perfect for my family life, great job, great hours, great coworkers. So, nothing negative to say about that, but what are my future goals as far as like my career is concerned? Do I just want to keep working here, which I plan to keep my current job for, as long as it works for my lifestyle. But I'm thinking further on, like 10 years down the line, like what are my goals? What are my aspirations? Now that my kids are getting older, when I don't need to be available to pick them up from the bus stop and take them to school, what do I want to do exactly? What exactly is like my calling? And I kind of revisited the idea of, do I want to go back to school? Do I want to go back into, nurse practitioner school? Do I want to go into nursing leadership? Do I want to go into just getting a master's in nursing? I don't know. But something that I feel very strong to is holistic nursing, holistic medicine. So I think there is a place for functional medicine and modern medicine, medical, whatever you want to call it. And I feel like I have a passion for the holistic side of medicine. So I could use my skills as a nurse practitioner in some capacity to maybe help a patient in a more holistic way. And so I know that I don't want to necessarily work in an institution where the patients are lined up one after the other. They come in, they have a symptom, I give a medicine and I go. They come in, next patient, they come in, they present a symptom, I give them medication, I give them a game plan, and then it's like the next patient. I don't want to do that. I don't think I would find that very fulfilling. I think, just full disclaimer, there is a place for medications, there is a place for medical intervention. I agree with all of that. I agree with modern science, but for me to feel fulfilled, I want to have a personal relationship with my patients to the point where I feel like I am actually making a difference in their life. Now, this is not to say that if you work for an institution, big hospital, corporation, that you can't have that, but I feel like you are at the mercy of the administration and how you handle your time, how you handle the care of your patients. And I just want something that is a little bit more closer to what I believe. I just want something different. That is my plan essentially. I would like to work in some capacity with holistic medicine as well as being a nurse practitioner. I think there's this guy in Austin, you can find him on TikTok, his name is Nurse Doza, and he kind of does something similar. Again, I don't want to move away from modern medicine. I think modern medicine is great, and I think, you know, there is a time and a place for it, absolutely. You know, if your blood pressure is uncontrolled, then you need to be put on blood pressure medication. If you know, are suffering from anxiety and depression and you haven't been able to find relief, you know, we can definitely, you know, I'm not opposed to like SSRIs and things like that, but I just don't want to be at the mercy of a hospital organization where it's like patients lined up one after the other, you're giving medication next. I don't want to do that. Maybe if you are in nursing, you may understand it. You may understand where I'm coming from, or you may understand my thought process, but that's just kind of where I'm at. Additionally, eventually I would like to do teaching, not now, but maybe closer, you know, when I get older. And so I did think about getting like a secondary postmaster certificate in education, just to kind of, you know, do that as well on the side, or maybe do both, right? Like I can do the nurse practitioner thing, and if I want to step away and be a nurse educator for like an institution, like a 4-year university or something like that, I do want to be able to do that as well. That is kind of where I am at with nurse practitioner school. I am someone that when I do something, I give it like 110%. And when I was in nursing school, I was literally studying like I was probably in medical school. I was over the top, you guys, over the top. And so my expectations of what I thought the workforce would be like is completely different than what it actually is. And I think a lot of nursing students may experience that when they first start working in healthcare. I am excited to start back to school. I'm just going to continue the program that I was in and just pick up on those classes. There is a need for nurse practitioner programs to have reform. There is a need for it. They need to reform how they do clinicals, why students are having to find their own clinical hours. There needs to be a big change on a fundamental level of nurse practitioner education, schools, etc. Because a lot of people who are paying a lot of money, a lot of nurses, it's a disservice to what is going on with the field. I feel like I'm rambling, but that's just kind of my thought process. I'm just kind of getting it out there. And so I am going back to school for nurse practitioner. My goal is to work in holistic functional medicine in some capacity, in addition to, you know, being an advanced practice provider. So that is my goal, and I feel like that would be a lot more fulfilling for me. And so that is where I'm at. If you have any questions, or if you are a nurse practitioner currently, I want to know what your thoughts are. How happy are you with your job? How happy are you with your hours, the patients that you serve, and things like that. I'm always curious to learn about other people's experiences. And so with that being said, that concludes the video. I just wanted to kind of put that out there for you guys because I had stopped, but now I'm going back and I am feeling more motivated than before because I feel like now I know what my actual goals are and I can identify those. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. As always, you can follow me on Instagram at YouFancySteph. If you do like this content or you do appreciate it, please consider giving me a thumbs up. Nursing students, non-nursing students, nurses, the like, just go ahead and drop a comment down below if any of this resonates with you, or if you have any thoughts on it. You can always also subscribe. So I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.